Well, hello, it's Rob, Travels with Dottie here, and I have a great video for you. For those of you considering going to Quartzsite for the winter season, I have a very, I think, accurate cost breakdown for what it may cost you to spend your winter vacation or winter season in Quartzsite. And what I've done here is I'm actually recording this in the studio, my trailer, and I'm adding it to a drive I'm going to take later today, a beautiful drive from Eagle Nest, New Mexico, up to Red River. I'm going to do some grocery shopping. So I thought, instead of just seeing me in the trailer, you can see my little face cut out in the corner, but you can see this beautiful drive. I go up to the mountain pass, goes up in Bobcat Pass, goes up to just 200 feet shy of 10,000 feet. It's a beautiful drive. So let's get going. Quartzsite, Arizona. I have lots of other videos I'll tag at the end about why Quartzsite, why it's a great time, but here today it's about cost. And the first big cost can be, this depends on where you're coming from. You know, are you driving here from New York City? Are you driving to Quartzsite from New York City, or are you coming from Phoenix? It makes a big difference on your travel costs. And I'm using an average of 10 miles per gallon. If you have a huge RV like a Class A, you may get less. If you have something lighter like a van, it may be more, but I get about 10 miles to the gallon. So that's the gauge I'm going to use. And I'm going to say, we're going to come from Houston. I don't live in Houston, but I just picked a random place, kind of an average of across the country. That would be 2,600 miles round trip. And at 10 miles per gallon, it's a little over 30 cents per mile. So that's going to cost you, are you ready? $780 in fuel. And probably, if you're conservative like me on how many miles per day you travel, that'd be 8 nights. And when I travel, I like to pull into RV parks that have pull-through sites where I can quickly hook up, get some good rest for the next day. You can find cheaper places, but it averages about $50 a night. That's $1,180 just to get there and get home. $1,180. If you boondock, meaning you don't need an RV park, you've got solar, you know about boondocking, you can make that work. The LTVA, the long-term visitor area, that's BLM land, that's all directly south of Quartzsite, is $180 for the whole season, and you can stay from September 15th through April 15th, $180. And included in that is you can fill up fresh drinking water, and you can dump your tanks, and you can dump trash. It's all included in that. But I'm going to guess a lot of people use propane, and a lot of propane when they're boondocking. I'd say that's about $40. That cost me about $40 a month. Last 3 seasons I've boondocked in the LTVA South area, and it was about $40 a month in propane. The other alternative, you don't have to pay that $180. There's 14-day free stay BLM land surrounding Quartzsite. And technically, you must move every 14 days, at least 30 miles away. If you want to stick to the letter of the law, you can go from there to Ehrenberg, which isn't that far away, but it'll fulfill the 30-mile requirement. Some people treat that more fast and loose, but that's up to you. But keep in mind, if you're staying in that free area, right, and you still got to dump your tanks and get fresh water, right? So you have to go into town to do that, and that'll cost you, if you do it once a week, $20 or more a shot for dumping tanks and fresh water. So $80 a month. There are services there that'll come out to you and dump your tanks and give you fresh water. They're a little pricey though. They're $90, like for a medium to large size RV, it's about $90 a visit. So that's a lot of money if you're going through a lot of water. Other alternatives. There are over 50 RV parks in Quartzsite. I'm going to stay in one this year for the first time ever. I'm going to be staying at Arizona Sun RV Park, and that's during the peak time, meaning I'll be there in the months of December and January, which a lot of the RV parks charge a premium because that's peak time. So I'm going to be there December, January, February, 3 months. It's $1,000 plus electricity. So I'm estimating my electric bill is going to be about $50 per month. So that's going to bring me to $383 per month. If you use an electric heater, though, in an RV park, almost all these RV parks do not include electric. It's separate. If you're going to use an electric heater, that's money. That's an extra on top of the $50 I'm talking, another $50 to $75. Right? So you could be paying $125 per month or more, depending on how big your heater is and how much you're running it. I use propane. RV parts and repairs. Okay, there you can order stuff on Amazon, and there's mail services like Moon Mountain Mail that will charge you per package, or you can sign up for a box if they have them available. You don't want to use the post office. It's a very small post office. You want to use one of the mail services. But you really don't have to for most RV parts. I am a big fan of a large store called RV Lifestyles. And it's in Quartzsite. It's easy to find. It's over near the Love's Travel Stop, the Love's Truck Stop. And I've done several videos on it. Time after time, I've gone in there and compared their prices to the best price I can get on Amazon, and they often beat it. And they do RV repairs, and I've heard nothing but good things about their RV repairs. And in addition to that, if you really need an RV repair, and you don't want to go into someplace like that, there are a plethora of mobile RV mechanics that descend on Quartzsite and stay there for the winter. And you worry about, hey, wait a minute, I don't want to take a chance on some RV guy, fly-by-night guy. Well, that's where I love this part of Facebook, where I'm a member of, there's more than one Quartzsite community Facebook page, but I think the one I'm on is Quartzsite Chatter. It's got like thousands and thousands of members. You go out and you ask, does anyone have any direct experience with a mobile RV tech? And you will get answers, good and bad. You'll be able to screen the person. And you'll get to know people, ask around. You can get firsthand accounts face to face from people about RV techs. But I've done it more than once, where I've had work done, and I've never been disappointed. Groceries. We're talking about expenses that are going to be unique to your trip, right? So to the extent that groceries are going to cost you more than they do at home, we need to talk about that, right? And you do have lots of options. The most convenient thing, not the widest selection, but most convenient, is there are two local grocery stores, Roadrunner in Coyote. They're like a block away from each other. They're local, independently owned grocery stores. They're both lovely. I like them both. But you can expect, on average, to pay 10 to a 20% premium on many items because you're in a small town local grocery store. They don't have the buying power of Walmart. That said, let me tell you something. Coyote Fresh has some of the best meats I've ever gotten anywhere. And I went through there one day doing a video, and I compared their meat prices There were some premium cuts of meat, and then I compared them to Walmart, and they were absolutely comparable. Now, if I buy a box of cereal at Coyote, it's probably $2 more than Walmart. So it doesn't work everywhere, but in some parts, in some things, they are able to deliver incredible value. But I said, there are options, right? The number one, the easiest thing, if you don't want to pay any premium prices, there's a Walmart in Parker, which is less than an hour drive away. And granted, for the past couple of years, there's been road construction. It's 95 is Route 95, and there's road construction, and often there are delays, and it takes a little bit longer. But I don't know what's going to happen with that this year. But if you're only going there once a week or once a couple of weeks, there's a Smith's and there's a Walmart. Now, even closer is Blythe, California. And it's just across the border off Interstate 10. And there's an Albertsons and a Smart and Final. And I understand there's a new discount grocery place there that I haven't been to yet. So if you're willing to travel a little bit, you can pay basically the same prices that you pay at home. Easy peasy, right? But no, there's more. There are more alternatives. I will say this with a straight face. I hardly ever go to Parker, or I do 90% of my grocery shopping in Quartzsite, and I pay less than I do at home. What? You just said, yeah. But what I didn't tell you is, in addition to those two independent grocery stores, there's a Family Dollar, there's a Dollar General, and a Dollar General Market. 3 of these discount places. And those dollar stores, they have comparable prices to Walmart. They just don't have the selection. But absolutely, they've got pretty much the same buying power. So you're going to pay pretty much the same prices, but instead of 20 brands of peanut butter, there's 2 or 3. That's the big difference, right? And if you're okay with that, you'll save a lot of money there. Plus, there's 2 heavily discount grocery outlets, one on Main Street, one in Tyson Wells. And there you can buy stuff, dry goods that are mostly out of date by a month or 2 usually. And I stick to buying things where that doesn't matter. Where does it matter? Pop-Tarts. Don't buy, trust me, do not buy outdated Pop-Tarts. They're terrible. But most other things, it's like dry goods. It's expired, so I'm going to die if I eat it. It's best if used by. That's all it is. And there are plenty of things that you can buy, plenty of staple things that you can buy for just dirt cheap that are just as good as, the stuff on the shelves on a regular grocery store. So I make my first pass through the discount grocery store, and then I make a pass through a dollar store, and then whatever's left over on my list, I go to the independent stores. So when you add everything up, it's less. I save money on groceries. So when I tell you at the end of the video how much it's going to cost me this season, I'm not including groceries, because I'm going to it would be legitimate to attach a negative number, a savings number, but I'm not going to go that far. Gasoline, just FYI, compare it to what you're paying wherever you are. Right now in Quartzsite, on what is the date today? It's the 7th of September. It is an average of $3.35 a gallon. That's how much gas is there. So if it's $1 less where you're from, you're going to pay $1 more there. Or if you're from California, you could save a lot of money. Safety, good frugal tip. Don't drive into Brea, California and buy gas. Bad idea. Don't go into California and buy gas. You'll be very disappointed. Laundry. There's plenty of laundry places. I like Main Street Laundry. It's the biggest one. I think it's the best one. I love the owner. She has a little coffee shop attached to it. Also, great showers. For last year, it was $11. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to $12. So that's an added cost. If you're boondocking and you want to take a shower once a week, $11 or $12 you can add to your cost, $11 or $12 a week, and that can add up. That's what, if it's $12, that's like $48 a month. That's not nothing, but you can do it when you do your laundry, and they're nice, clean, hot showers. It's really great, and it'll cost you, if you're doing laundry once a week, $5 to $10, depending on how many loads you're doing, that kind of thing. For me, there's no difference. I don't have, like in my home base, I don't have my own laundry machine or anything. I go to laundromats. So laundromats, it's a wash for me. Eating out. Okay, let's talk about a couple specific things. An iconic place is Silly Al's Pizza. It is so popular. You're going to hear about it. You're going to want to go there. A large pizza is like $27, and it's a big pizza. I defy you to sit and eat a large by yourself. But that's not any kind of huge departure from any other pizza place anywhere. Maybe it's a little bit more than the chains, but not that much more, and it's totally worth it. And there's also another pizza place called Outback Pizza. The prices are fairly comparable. I'll give you a McDonald's warning. People constantly freak out when they go to McDonald's in Quartzsite and they buy a supersized Big Mac meal with large fries and everything. It's $15 or something ridiculous. And they go, oh my God, I can't believe how much it is at McDonald's. McDonald's is very expensive in Quartzsite. Just so you know, if you don't know this, every franchise is allowed to set their own prices, and Quartzsite is high. However, if you like McDonald's, you can beat that. Get the app. The app is free to download. I go to McDonald's regularly for breakfast because on the app I can get like a $2 breakfast sandwich. $2. And there are plenty of specials that you can do where it drives the cost down. There's another option. There's Carl Jr.'s that to me seems to be the retail price without apps. Carl's Jr. seems to be a much better value than McDonald's. So that's kind of a minor point, but I think it's worth mentioning. All the other restaurants in town are pretty average prices across the country. There's no fancy high price places. The Silly Al's $27 large pizza. If you can feed 2 or 3 people with that, that's pretty reasonable. Other restaurants, where you can really get the deals are these pop-up restaurants and trailer restaurants. Trailer food trucks and things are all over the place during peak season in the winter, and it's usually really great food. There's Mean Maggie's. Mean Maggie's is in Tyson Wells, and she does what she calls gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches. And I think it's $14 or something for a sandwich, and you go, $14 for a grilled cheese. Oh my God, it's so good. So it's not like in one of the inexpensive ones, but it's a really good one. And it's not just 2 pieces of bread and cheese. There's all sorts of mixtures she does. It's wonderful. But anyway, I digress. There are these trailers that sell all kinds of different foods, and the prices are remarkably small. So you can save money eating out doing that. There is one pharmacy in town, and I've never gotten my prescriptions filled there. Now, I don't know this for sure, but my sense is, well, the hours can be a little funky, but my sense is that it'll probably cost you more at this local pharmacy than Walmart. I just do all my pharmacy business as a full-time traveler with Walmart. So once a month, I have to get my medications, and I have to make my pilgrimage up to Parker, which is not far. It's I thought I had it listed here on, I think it's 40 miles each way, so 80 miles. So it's 80 miles, and figure out whatever your mileage is. 30 cents a mile, so 250, or so what did I say? It was 30 cents a mile. Let's work that out. So if I go so if it's 80 miles round trip times 30 cents, it's going to cost me $24 in fuel. But then again, with me, that's not true, because I'm not going to be pulling my trailer up there. So I'm not going to get 10 miles per gallon. I'm going to get 18 or 20. So it'll cost me about $12 round trip to go to Parker. So if you do want to get your food up in Parker, you may want to factor that in depending on the mileage you're getting. And it may, if all you have is a Class C or something, you got to bring the whole thing up there, then it can be a little bit more expensive. So I'm sorry I sort of missed that, but I recovered, right? Here's another expense that if you're my age, or you're over 60, and the older you get, let's just face it, I don't care how good your health is, bad things can happen suddenly. The older you get, the chances of that happening are 100%, because you're going to have a death crisis at some point, right? Everybody does. But if it had something major happens in Quartzsite, I'm going to talk for a minute about medical availability for routine stuff, which is really good. But for dire emergency stuff, Phoenix is 2 or 3, depending on traffic, it could be 2 to 3 hours away. And if you have a serious medical thing, you want to be flown. And yes, there's a helicopter. So my suggestion is, and I'll put this in the comments, a link to this, is Air Medcare is insurance for these helicopter transports, and it's $99 a year. And unless you're absolutely positive that your health insurance will absolutely pay 100% of an air transport, if you're not positive about that, I have it. I pay for it every year. And it doesn't work everywhere in the country. You have to, on their website, you put in the area that you're going to be in and make sure that the helicopter in that area is in their network. And it's an affirmative for Air Medcare for Quartzsite. But if you go to buy it, double check. Things change. Double check before you lay down your $99. You get a little card. Because how much, do you guys know how much it costs for an medical air transport? Anywhere from $7,000 to $90,000, depending on where you're taken and where you are in the country and what they need to do for you. It can be scary. So I don't have that worry because I have Air Medcare. I'm just trying to think, is there anything that I missed here on my list? I don't think that there is. So what is it going to cost Travels with Dottie to go to Quartzsite for the 25-26 season? Well, it's going to cost me in travel it's going to, for the park with electric, it's going to cost me $1,149. That's $1,000 for 3 months and $149 for the estimates for my electric. And that's for 3 months. Propane, laundry, food for me, it's a wash. I use propane at my home base. Using propane here. I do laundromats here. The food, I'm telling you, I'm going to save money in Quartzsite, but I'm not going to show. So when I add everything together, it's going to cost me $471 per month for the 3 months that I'm going to be there. And for me, that's a lot more than what I pay here in Eagle Nest. It's certainly a ton more than I pay at my home base in Artesia, but it's worth it. And it's, in the scheme of things, for the experience and the fact that I'm staying in a full hookup RV park this year, a really nice one, $471 a month for 3 months is, I think it's a really good deal. But depending on the choices that you make, your baseline expenses from where you're coming from, you can be a lot more than that, or you can be a lot less than that. So just pay attention to things like how far you're traveling to get there, right? It's like I didn't mention, I had the RV park was $1149, and it's $265 that I'm going to pay for gas and one night in an RV park for my travel, and that's how I got to the $471 a month. So it's $1,414, including the travel for 3 months. That's how I got to the $471 part. I'm sorry. So depending on how far you're traveling, what your gas mileage is, what your situation is at home, you can do your own calculation, but that's what it's costing me. And hopefully it'll give you an idea of what to expect of a visit, a winter in Quartzsite. What's it going to cost you? And you know what? To me, it's my fourth season there. It's so worth it. The relationships, it's a mecca for full-time RV travelers and nomads. So many of us meet in Quartzsite. It's just a wonderful experience. And entertainment, I didn't talk about entertainment. Most of it, unless you're tempted to buy stuff you don't need, things like the shows are free. Like the RV show, the RTR, the Rock and Gem show, it's all free, folks. It's all free. There's no tickets to buy. I mean, you can do things that cost money, but they're pretty few and far between. And that's up to you. I can't say that, other than eating out, that I spend any extra money. I get a little tempted at the RV show. You know, it's a week long and there's every vendor you can imagine and all these cutting edge gadgets and things. But you guys that know me know I'm sort of a gadget nut, but I don't spend that much at the RV show. But if you're tempted to buy rocks and gems and stuff at the RV show, that'll be an added expense, but you know yourself to be able to make that determination. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have anything to add, put them in the comments. And I hope you really enjoy this video. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.